everyone, my name is Taylor and this is, nope, 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, my name is Taylor from Studio I Do Bridals and this is Paige and this is the Debunked Bride. Today I brought Paige on as our guest star because we are going to be talking about the do's and don'ts as a member of the bride's entourage while wedding dress shopping. Paige is here to share her top 4 tips on what to do and what not to do.
Thank you, Taylor. I'm so glad you asked because I brought a list.
Let's hear it. What's do or don't number 1 as a member of the entourage?
I'm gonna start with do. Let's start on a positive note.
Let's do it.
Number 1 do. Keep reassuring the bride. You're literally up on a pedestal in the middle of the room in front of everybody. That's nerve-wracking enough as it is. You don't need all these people dogging on you. You need the reassurance. You need to constantly being like, at the end of the day, this is your dress. You're gonna look beautiful no matter what, because that's the truth. You're here to genuinely support. That is your number 1 job as the entourage.
The bride invited you for a reason because she values you as a bridesmaid. If you're a family member, mom, anything like that, she values you and your opinion, but it is still her day. She still wants to have a positive experience. Number 2, do or don't.
We're moving on to don't.
Are the rest of them don'ts?
Yeah.
This is gonna be the most valuable information. I feel like sometimes the don'ts are more valuable than the do's anyway.
Yeah, because it's definitely something you're not realizing you're doing.
Correct.
I would say number 1 don't, and I've said this to brides too, because automatically, again, you're the center of attention, and a lot of people don't like to be the center of attention, so you're staring at yourself in the mirror. So as a bride, as the group, it's very easy to start picking apart personal things. You are allowed to pick apart my dresses, but you're not allowed to pick apart you.
Can you give an example?
And you are standing in a dress and, someone looks at you and says, that dress kind of makes you look slutty, and this is your future mother-in-law to be. That's unfortunate. That really sets the tone, and then you've just really hurt her feelings. Even if she didn't like that dress, you completely changed the narrative of this situation.
Got it, yes. Do not comment on
someone else's appearance. Number 1, we shouldn't be so comfortable commenting on anybody else's body to begin with.
I think that's anything in life, actually.
Yes.
Any moment in time.
You should never assume things.
You know what they say.
You know what they say.
And it is true. So don't number 1, that was don't comment on the appearance of the bride.
Comment on the dress.
Unless you are affirming and complimenting
and
and
reassuring.
building her up.
Yes. My second don't to the group would be, we definitely want to hear the group's opinion as, like, if you see a dress, at the end of the day, we all understand you know the bride better than we do. We just met her. So love your input. Definitely want to see dresses that you feel like look like her. However, don't start going through all these racks and start pulling a bunch of dresses, because you're going to overwhelm the bride more than anyone, and the stylist a little bit, because of course we want you to feel included. We want you to be a part of the experience. We have a system, trust the process. There's a method to the madness, I always say. We want the bride to be able to try on your picks, but when you start going all through these racks and pull like 12 dresses, that becomes really overwhelming, and then it's not an enjoyable experience at all.
Wedding dress shopping can be so exciting, and I feel like brides, some brides, not all brides, it is the number 1 thing that they are most excited about. But honestly, some brides, it's the number 1 thing that they are not excited about. They're kind of stressing out about it, and they're dreading the whole shopping process. So for that bride, if you are doing what Paige is saying, you're just contributing to that stress. Brides walk in here and it's a sea of white. Everything just looks the same except to your stylist, who is an expert in these dresses, and that's why we are in the position that we're in, because we're here to guide you.
I always jokingly say that this room is like my library, because there's a system, and there's method to the madness.
I like that. That's so romantic, kind of. To all of our book nerds out there.
I was about to say, to all our readers. Oh my god, do we write a book next?
Stay tuned.
Cool.
What is do or don't number 4?
Don't challenge your stylist or your bride. Don't challenge the stylist in their knowledge. We have spent a lot of time, trying to figure out the best ways to educate people, and, we spend hours upon hours doing this, so I promise I'm not talking out of my butt. I don't mean that in a rude way by any means, but, I wouldn't come into someone else's job. I wouldn't go into my doctor's office and be like telling her all these things I learned off Grey's Anatomy.
You might think you know, But you don't know.
You don't know. And I would say don't challenge the bride in the sense of making her question her sense of self, making her start to second guess, like, oh, like, is this really me? Aunt Becky is over here saying that just doesn't really look like you. Don't make her question herself. Ask her questions, but not in that way. Even if the bride had like a certain idea when she comes in and then she comes in and then it changes,
that's okay.
That's fine.
It's such a learning process too, because once you start trying on, you might think that you know what you want, like as the bride, and that's kind of probably where everyone else is also in the entourage. They think that they know what the bride wants coming in, but that might totally change once she starts trying on dresses. So you kind of have to be able, as a member of the entourage, to also adapt and meet the bride where she is during the process. And I think that also, that comes to my last point of a do, and something that you should do as a member of the entourage is just celebrate the bride. From the moment that she walks in the door, from the moment that she gets engaged and she decides that this is the person that she wants to be with for the rest of her life. Celebrate her, because this is a once in a lifetime moment, experience, I guess you can say. So just be her number one fan and bring that also into her bridal appointment, because this might be the only time she ever shops for a wedding dress. You don't want to negatively impact that. She wants to look back on this experience with her stylist and with her loved ones in her entourage and only have fond memories.
Kind of piggybacking earlier, you said, you know, the bride picks you for a certain reason.
Yeah.
She's picking you because she's expecting you, like, yes, this isn't happening to you, but you should be just as excited. She's picking you because she thinks you're on her team. You're supposed to be on her team.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a firm believer, you get one day. I'm not saying, like, the fiance isn't important. They're important. They gotta show up. But you get one day.
Yeah.
It gets to be all about you. One day where you are not conforming to other people's opinions and doing what they want to do. This is your day.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money to not get what you want.
That's right. Thank you for watching this episode of The Debunked Bride.
My name's Paige.
And I'm Taylor. We'll see you next time. Bye.
You're watching Disney Channel.
That is what it feels like.
That's all I was hearing in my head as you were doing that.
Dude, I could probably put that on the screen.
Probably.
My name's Paige, and you're watching Disney Channel.